Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sunward Isles. Ba-da-dum-ba-da-dum-bum-bum. Alrighty, so I went on a ton of farming in search of the mansion's Sunward Isle bosses, but despite my attempts, and by the way, this is going almost exclusively to level 5 dungeons, did not go to Nightmare dungeons because I highly doubt they would spawn in them, since the Nightmare and the Manor are different things. But despite my numerous attempts, I just couldn't find them. Now, we did get a couple cool things, but unfortunately, I was planning to end the series having fought the twins and, having done the manor. But I think there's a confliction between the manor and the twins. So, unfortunately, it is going to be a little bit of a quieter end. But all in all, I'd like to say that we're ending on a pretty good note. Out of our 30 characters, 28 of them are level 6 with completely maxed out gear and skills. As far as our town, I will go through that with you right now. As you can see, we obviously didn't do much in terms of the Color of Madness. We could get the Red Seal ship, but we never really needed it. So what we have is the Congenial Ryokan, which gives us a lot of extra stress healing, just a lot of extra stress healing. We have the bank, which has been just a key player in this estate. The amount of gold it has generated for us has probably been close to as much as we actually got ourselves. The Puppet Theater has also been a very, very key player, since stress healing was a little bit on the harder side, due to the estate rework. Even though I do really like the estate rework, it makes stress healing a little bit more difficult. So luckily, Sunward Isles and Puppet Theater, that 15 stress healing for someone being idle is... But regardless, some of the other districts we have are the House of the Yellow Hand, which buffs up quite a few of our people. We probably could have went with the Altar of Light, but nah. Training Ring buffs basically everybody, and the Athenium buffs the other half of our characters. So, all in all, the Training Ring and the Athenium are like the two most important buildings, because that buffs almost everybody in our estate. The Performance Hall does buff the Minstrel and the Gyukin. The Gyukin. I'm still... End of the series. Still can't say it right. And, of course, the Is Tree, but red. Also, that video is, legit good to go. I'm just... I don't know what it is. I'm trying to voice over the little script I wrote, and God, it doesn't sound right. I don't know if I just need to redo the script or what, but that's what happens when you never do scripted content. But, all in all, with districts, we're looking pretty good, and we still have 3 more blueprints that we can use. Although, I think we'll leave that for the estate to decide. As far as our buildings go, they're pretty good. All in all, Stagecoach is 53%. Let's not forget, this is the reworked estate. So a lot of this is a little bit different. But all in all, 53% definitely does not feel that bad. Tavern is sitting at a mighty healthy 83%. The biggest reason some of these aren't at 100% is because of the blueprint requirement. That is the hardest thing to come by. Now, of course, Nightmare did alleviate that quite a bit. But even though we could technically go through each and every dungeon and collect every single Nightmare trinket that there is, let's not forget, this estate was prioritizing Sunward Isles and 100%ing Sunward Isles, and we've done that. I don't think we encountered the tree. Yeah, I don't think we've encountered the tree or the spider, but I also haven't encountered either of them in my attempt to find the twins. So, unfortunately, I'm getting super, super unlucky, and I've kind of been at this for a while, so it's like, you know, I realize that they're a low percent. It's probably like a 1% for both of them. But man, the unluck is rearing its head. The Abbey is sitting at a mighty fine 66%. Pretty good, all things considered. The Graveyard is sitting at 90%. The Minions Expedition is just fantastic. The earlier you can get the Minions Expedition going, the better it is going to be. Even though it is a little bit rare, their influx of income is really, really solid. At least, I think. The guild is sitting at 100%, which is how all of our characters are completely maxed out, other than 2. There is 2 who are just level 5. But that's okay. The blacksmith is also sitting at 100%. All in all, it's looking pretty solid. And, of course, the Nomad Wagon sitting at 77%. So I definitely don't think this estate was, it wasn't too hard. All in all, I'd say this is probably one of the easier, more laid-back estates that we've ever done. And, of course, that does partially have to do with some of the characters being completely busted. Oh, by the way, the reason Blank is not at 5.5 is because it's 16k gold to upgrade these, and the buff is just not good enough for that. Like, 1 extra minimum and maximum damage, basically 1% more speed. No, 1 more speed, 1% more crit. That's just not worth 8k gold. And then, genetic, we get 4 extra health and 3 extra dodge. It is nice, but it's just not worth how much it costs. Now, it would be nice if Blank had blacksmith. That would reduce the costs by 40% to both. But obviously, we can only have 1 per roster, so you know, we already have a blacksmith, so unfortunately, it was not to be. Now, as for our characters, I'd say basically all of them are relatively good to go. This is basically level 6. Look at this. 1 resolve short of being level 6. That's unreal. But it's totally fine. So, I'm going to go through all of our characters and show you all of their quirks. But all in all, I do think that this is going to be the final episode of the Sunward Isles. We did manage to beat relatively everything inside of said Sunward Isles. Unfortunately, the Nightmare just kind of let me down. I was kind of hoping that there would be unique trinkets for the Sunward Isles bosses. So after we beat the first one and we got nothing, and then I beat another one off camera while I was looking for the twins. It was the exact same one. It was Mr. Horseman. Still no trinket. So either I'm extraordinarily unlucky, or there was just no custom trinkets. Which, you know, that is a little bit disappointing. And I also think that the Nightmare was not working properly when it came to the manor. Which does suck, because I was kind of looking forward to fighting the twins and doing the manor. But, hey, you know, it's bound to happen sometimes. Not every mod is going to work together in tandem perfectly. Oh! So there's just going to be some times where, you know, a mod or two doesn't quite work. And if you remember Mega Modded, we could remove Nightmare, but that would just cause so many problems. And because we don't have a backup save, since we started the estate in with Nightmare going, there's really no save point to revert to. So, that's kind of not really something that we have the option to do. Now, I do think we're ending on a relatively high note. Like, I definitely don't think this has been a bad series. We did kind of veer off the path of just Sunward Isle stuff a little bit, mainly because of the Nightmare stuff. But, all in all, I think it has been a relatively fun estate. So, we are going to start gearing up to do quote-quote Steampunk estate, in which we will have the Vermintide mod and a lot of mods that have sort of a steam, iron, that sort of stuff. Obviously, calling it a Steampunk estate is a little bit of a stretch because not every character there is going to be steampunk per se. But, that's okay. But, all in all, I hope you're excited for that. I have literally never played the Vermintide mod, so I do not know what to expect. All I know is that our torch is completely overwritten. So, there's like a brand new torch for it. That's the only thing I know about the Vermintide mod. I don't know how hard it is. I don't know if it's a total area rework, if it just adds enemies, if it's just a area off to the side like Sunward Isles or Pet Cemetery. No idea. But I'm relatively excited to try that out. Not to mention, we are going to be using quite a few pretty neato mods. And, as usual, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little adventure with me. Obviously, it did get a little bit dicey here and there inside of this series, but I definitely think we pretty much smashed this estate. This estate, all in all, was relatively fun and relatively smooth. So, yeah, I really have no issues with where we left off. Also, Tony is our blacksmith. How about that? I also think all of our characters are really, really strong. A lot of them have some form of Sunward Isles buff, which, some of them didn't really get to use it, but because we were focused on the Sunward Isles, it's better to have it than to not. The Drakenblood is the #1 character of the estate, though. Just saying. OP dragon waifu. I'm going to put her in another series, but I don't know which one. I guess we'll see. I mean, technically I could put her in Waifu Crusade, but I don't think she's religious, so, kind of puts a damper on that. But, all in all, I had fun. I hope you had fun. I'm rambling. And I do also want to apologize that we're not ending the series off with a string of boss fights. Like I said, I really tried to find all of the bosses, but it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. With both the conflictions and #shadow luck being absolutely horrendous, it is how it is. So, instead, we're just going to end on a high note, and we are going to wish the estate good luck in facing against the Heart of Darkness. We pierced the veil for them, and now the lives of the lands are in the hands of the estate and the ancestral descendants. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.